Welcome to the Sewing Trivia Quiz. Get ready to test your knowledge about needles, threads, and everything in between. There are 25 questions in total, 10 true or false, 10 multiple choice, and 5 fill in the blank. Lock in your answers before the timer runs out, and don't forget to put your final score in the comments below. Let's get stitching. Question 1, true or false? The world's oldest sewing needle is over 50,000 years old. True, archaeologists found a bone needle in Siberia dating back to about 50,000 years ago. That's one durable needle. Question 2, true or false? Singer was the first company to manufacture sewing machines. False. While Singer popularized sewing machines, the first functional sewing machine was invented by French tailor Barthélemy Thimonier in 1830. Question 3. True or false? Cotton thread is stronger when wet. True. Cotton fibers actually swell when wet, making the thread about 20% stronger. Just don't try this with your polyester thread. Question 4. True or false? The term selvage refers to the raw edge of fabric. False. The selvage is actually the tightly woven edge that runs along both lengthwise sides of fabric. The raw edges are called cut edges. Question 5. True or false? A. Thimble is only used to protect your finger when hand sewing. False. While protection is its main job, clever sewers also use thimbles to help push needles through tough fabrics, multitasking at its finest. Question 6. True or false? The first buttonholes were sewn by machine in 1862. True. Before this invention, all buttonholes were painstakingly sewn by hand. Imagine how long shirts took to make. Question 7. True or false? Silk thread is made from the cocoons of silkworms. True. Each cocoon can produce about 1,000 yards of silk filament. That's a lot of thread from one little worm. Question 8. True or false? The zigzag stitch was invented before the straight stitch. False. Straight stitches came first. The zigzag stitch wasn't developed until sewing machines became more advanced in the late 19th century. This one's a hard one. Good luck. Question 9. True or false? The average sewing needle passes through fabric about 100 times before it becomes dull. False. A quality needle can make thousands of stitches before needing replacement, but they do get dull eventually. Listen for that pop sound when it's time to change. Question 10. True or false? The first zipper was sewn onto a pair of boots in 1893. True. The clasp locker precursor to zippers debuted on rubber boots before making its way to clothing. Imagine sewing a zipper for the first time ever. We are warmed up now. If you're enjoying this sewing quiz so far, don't forget to like and subscribe. Coming up next, 10 tricky multiple-choice questions that will really test your sewing knowledge. Question 11. What is the name of the small metal or plastic piece at the end of a shoelace? A. Aglet. B. Eyelet. C. Ferrule. D. A tiny wizard hat. A. Aglet. These handy little tips prevent fraying and make lacing easier. And no, despite what some may think, they're not actually tiny wizard hats. Question 12. Which of these fabrics would be most challenging to sew for a beginner? A. Cotton. B. Silk chiffon. C. Denim. D. Felt. B. Silk chiffon. This delicate, slippery fabric is notorious for shifting and fraying. Beginners might want to start with stable cotton or felt. Question 13. What does the term bias refer to in sewing? A. The straight grain of fabric. B. A 45-degree angle to the grain. C. The selvage edge. D. Your least favorite sewing task. B. A 45-degree angle to the grain. Fabric cut on the bias has more stretch and drape beautifully, which is why bias-cut garments are so flattering. This one's a hard one. Good luck. Question 14. What unusual material was used for some Victorian-era sewing needles? A. Porcupine quills. B. Fish bones. C. Rhino horn. D. Meteorite metal. B. Fish bones. Before mass-produced steel needles, people got creative. Sturdy fish bones made surprisingly effective needles in a pinch. Question 15. Which stitch is commonly used for creating stretchy seams in knit fabrics? A. Backstitch. B. Zigzag stitch. C. Running stitch. D. Cross stitch. B. Zigzag stitch. The zigzag allows the seam to stretch with the fabric without breaking the thread. Regular straight stitches would pop right open. Question 16. What is the purpose of a tailor's ham? A. To feed hungry tailors. B. To press curved seams. C. To store pins. D. To measure fabric. B. To press curved seams. Despite the delicious name, this firm, ham-shaped cushion helps tailors press curved areas like sleeves and darts to perfection. Question 17. Which of these is not a type of sewing machine presser foot? A. Zipper foot. B. Buttonhole foot. C. Invisible foot. D. Walking foot. C. Invisible foot. While we have zipper, buttonhole, and walking feet, the invisible foot remains elusive in sewing shops worldwide. Question 18. What does the term fat quarter refer to in quilting? A. A quarter yard of fabric cut wide. B. An overweight quilter. C. A large spool of thread. D. A special type of scissors. A. A quarter yard of fabric cut wide. It's a half yard cut in half vertically, giving quilters more usable fabric than a regular quarter yard strip. Question 19. Which historical figure was an accomplished seamstress? A. Cleopatra. B. Marie Antoinette. C. Betsy Ross. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. From Cleopatra's famed needlework to Marie Antoinette's fashion influence to Betsy Ross's legendary flag-making, needle skills were prized across history. Question 20. What is the purpose of a seam ripper? A. To open seams. B. To cut buttonholes. C. To trim threads. D. To scare away fabric moths. A. To open seams. This handy, if sometimes frustrating, tool helps undo stitches without damaging fabric. Every sewer's best friend and worst enemy. I hope you have been getting some correct answers. Don't worry if not, sewing is full of tricky details. Coming up next, 5 fill-in-the-blank questions that will really make you think about your sewing knowledge. Question 21. The blank is the part of the sewing machine that moves up and down to pierce the fabric with the needle. The answer is needle bar. This crucial component ensures your needle moves precisely up and down with each stitch. Question 22. Blank is the process of temporarily holding fabric layers together with long, loose stitches before permanent sewing. The answer is basting. These temporary stitches are like training wheels for your sewing project, removed after the permanent stitches are in place. This one's a hard one. Good luck. Question 23. The blank stitch is a strong hand stitch that looks like a dashed line on both sides of the fabric. The answer is backstitch. This mighty little stitch is so strong it was used in medieval times to sew armor padding. Talk about durable. Question 24. A blank is a small firm cushion used to hold pins and needles while sewing. The answer is pincushion. These handy helpers keep pins organized and within reach, though they do seem to mysteriously wander off sometimes. Question 25. The blank foot is a special presser foot used for sewing in zippers. The answer is zipper foot. This specialized foot lets you stitch close to the zipper teeth without accidentally sewing over them. Zipper installation made easy. And that is the end of the sewing trivia quiz. We hope you've enjoyed testing your needle knowledge. Don't forget to like and subscribe and put your final score in the comments below. Happy sewing, everyone!